welcome today. Today we will have a presentation about SAP Signavio together with S/4HANA. First, a short introduction of who we are. My name is Ingmar Kat. I'm a COE lead of Intelligent Technologies, which mainly consists of how to use the tools which are available today, with especially the combination of automation, B2P, and the technologies within the S/4HANA core. A perfect fit with Signavio, and Johannes is our COE lead for this topic. Johannes, from your end, who are you?
Thank you, Ingmar. Good afternoon here from Austria, and good evening, good morning, wherever you are. It's my pleasure. I'm Johannes Strasser, leading SAP Signavio initiatives here at Westernacher Consulting.
Well, then we first start off with a short introduction of our company. So what is Westernacher? What do we do? We are 850 experts, all true experts who are on the floor together with people, with business, and helping the customers we have. Last year we had double-digit growth, and this is also what we have seen over the last multiple years. So we are growing strongly and are a strong partner in the digital supply chain area. One of the elements which is key for us is the S/4HANA implementation cycle, where we provide a fit to standard approach, want to have a clean core, and in this, one of the biggest imperatives is also the usage of Signavio in our whole setup. We are there for a long time. We are 3 years older than SAP itself, and also a long-time partner of SAP. One of the key areas where we differentiate from other system integrators and mainly also strategic advisors is that we are 100% employee owned. So the people where you speak with are the people who own the company, and we are a net zero company. Then we go to the topic of today. I want to mainly introduce this by the phases of what we see during a project. We have different elements that we do to start with a project with implementation of S4, and these elements are also the elements that we support as a company. We start with the design, we have the implementation, we support and improve, train and enable, and we roll out. All these elements have elements where we, in the old-fashioned implementation cycle within ECC, we see a lot of manual activities. You start with a design, you investigate what are the solutions you have right now, what do you do tomorrow, maybe do an analysis of your current system, load data from the different tables to see which processes are applicable, what are the different sales elements that you have, how is your organization set up. And the old-fashioned way of working is that you load all these data yourself. You need to gather the data, you need to look at it, investigate it, have a discussion about it, have brown paper sessions where you really put it in paper, hang it on the wall with post-it sessions. This is what the starting point was. What you see during the rollout and implementation phase is that based on these discussions, you know what your core points are in the business, but you don't know everything. You miss factors because the people do their daily business, but most of the time they remember what happens a lot. They focus on the areas where they are struggling, but it also means that you not always have the full end-to-end cycle. One of the key parts that we will discuss today is how do we leverage Signavio to support this initial process, have the right scope for your business, ensure that you know everything what you need to know in the beginning, have all different phases already ready before you even start. One element in the design is the scoping, the indication of which processes are there, the best practice selection. So what are the processes that you need for your business? A second element in this is also the improvement that you can have, the automation capability, which is there readily available, which will be immediately displayed. And also, where is your coding right now? And what does it help for you? It will bring you information also in the next step. What do you need to train? Where do you change? What will happen when you are supporting the process, and how do you improve? And all these elements we will now show you and explain to you how this will work out within Signavio. And that's where I would like to hand over to Johannes to explain you what do we do, how do we do this, and what is the element that we really can help you.
Thank you, Ingmar, for your introduction. We can take it from there. So if you are planning your move towards S/4HANA, this session is for you. If you're already on your journey towards S/4HANA, this session is for you. And if you already moved towards S/4HANA, this session is for you. We have a huge crowd today. We have people from all over. It's late here in the afternoon in Europe. You had a long day, maybe if you are here working in Germany, France, or in the Nordics. But we also have people from Boston, Chicago, and the East Coast. Good morning to you. And we have some late joiners in India and in the Emirates. Also, a warm welcome to you. Before we start, I personally want to showcase you what is it about SAP Signavio here at Westernacher Consulting. So we are a group of certified SAP Signavio consultants with a strong partnership with SAP Signavio directly, as we are partner since day one. Since SAP acquired Signavio 2 years ago, we are on this mission because we are convinced that Signavio helps best your transformation towards S/4HANA. Why? We see it throughout this session. So our value proposition is clearly, okay, we want to support you not only process modeling wise, but also in terms of process analysis, improvement, mining, and of course, customer excellence activities. Therefore, we already have some great success with some customer engagements I'll show you in a minute, where we cover end-to-end scenarios. So we are definitely not in a silo thinking mode. We say, okay, oh, you want to go to S4, okay, map your processes, design them wisely, and that's it. No, we see ourselves as a long-term partner, and we want to ensure that you get the most out of your business processes while respecting your data, your systems, and of course, your target S/4HANA capabilities. So our core competency, Signavio-wise, in the context of S/4HANA, is definitely putting all the potential out there that Signavio and S/4HANA delivers, ensuring that you get the full horsepower on the street. We already did with several customers, first of all, from the professional services industry. And I'm mentioning it consciously because it's us. Talking here on the left side, it's us, Westernacher. We are also SAP Signavio enthusiasts from a customer point of view. So when we migrated to S4, we also decided subscribing for Signavio solutions to support our end-to-end migration journey. We did a process insight study with a large Austrian bank and some case studies also in the consumer goods industry, where we mined different processes, most notably order to cash, procure to pay, record to report, and where we optimized processes and then communicated it with the collaboration hub. How this could look like, we will see it throughout the session. Now, today you're here, you saved your time, you took 1 hour off or 45 minutes because you want to learn more about capabilities Signavio can offer when it comes to your S4 migration. We appreciate your time because time is a luxury good in today's fast-moving and digitalized world. Having a look on PwC's and LeanIX studies, we see here some key challenges companies are facing when they're moving towards S/4HANA. Most of them are struggling, indeed, with a complex legacy system landscape. We're not talking about 1 or 2 systems, it's many systems, highly complex data structures, etc. In this context, also a high customization rate. You might have a lot of set transactions. What to do with them? Are they valuable in your target system? Do you need them? Next point is about master data. We recently had a client, they get concerning the supplier, they had 20 different addresses for the same supplier. So you know, when you're struggling with master data, it's also a huge issue. The next one is dedicated to non-harmonized business processes. What does it mean? We all know those processes that are modeled in some way and then archived some way somewhere, but they're never connected, never put it into life. Meaning they're somewhere dead, right? They're never connected to your data, to your systems, and also not, you know, end-to-end holistically played out, right? Just think of your line of businesses having an example of an order-to-cash process where sales and finance, they're both involved. How often do they talk to each other? Does your finance team know about the sales team and their processes? Yes or no? And so on. So non-harmonized business processes. Achieving business stakeholder buy-in. We all know that an S4 migration is not a pure IT topic, it's a business topic where you need the buy-in from all your line of business managers, of course, but also process owners, and of course, best case from your C-suite. Ultimately, it's a skill and also knowledge to transform there. So long story short, there's such an investment also behind resources, manpower, womanpower, time, money, cost, you know. Free yourself from your daily operational business to transform towards S/4HANA. That's a massive act. At the same time, it's also about the motivation. Why do you want to move actually towards S/4HANA? Is it because you have to, because there's an end of, you know, support regarding your ECC? Or are you motivated to unleash the full potential, to drive the full capabilities S/4HANA offers you? That's why we're there today, to showcase you how it can be done in a structured way, in a fun way. Ultimately, it shall be fun, even if it's massive, but it's an opportunity rather than a challenge. And for this opportunity, we are here, and we at Westernacher, we are committed to be a trusted and reliable partner on this journey. Now we emphasized on the challenges. So why not also emphasizing on dimensions, key dimensions for success? At the very beginning, we have the strategy, of course. You might have a 2030 agenda. You want to be more agile in this fast-moving, globalized world. You want to be more sustainable. You want to have an optimized supply chain to cope with all those disruptions that are going on. Then, second part is your processes. Your processes that are the very heart of your operations. We all know that. And here, it's not only about the so-called inside-out perspective, right? Your traditional end-to-end processes, order to cash, procure to pay, record to report. It's also about the outside-in perspective. How do your customers perceive the order to cash process? How do your supplier perceive your procure to pay process? How do your employees perceive some steps in the record to report process? Now we are in March. Quarterly closings are yet to come. How do they perceive the quarter end closing? Are they happy? Sentiments, you know, in an era where it's so important to attract talents from an employee's perspective, but also to maintain strong partnerships with your suppliers in terms of, you know, in terms of disruptions and so on. We need to be happy to have this supplied goods we get from our suppliers. So why not fostering this partnership? And of course, customers in a highly competitive world, creating customer excellence. You see, I'm talking a lot because I'm passionate about the topic, but in the end, I just want to point out that S4 is much more, again, a business topic rather than an IT topic. Even though systems, the third point, is of course also a huge dimension, a seamlessly integrated and implemented system, nicely interconnected with your maybe third-party systems, right? The goal is to have a harmonized system landscape with a seamless data flow, but all the data that's, you know, processed within your company. ultimately, that's my favorite axis. That's why we are here at Westernacher also highly committed to emphasize on the people, because ultimately you can have the best strategy, best processes, the best systems in place, but if you don't have your people who are motivated, committed, and driven by the topic, and thrilled about what's to come, about optimizing KPIs, driving them into the green, ultimately the people are the ones, combined with the other three axes, to bring you this ROI that you are striving for in the future. And I mentioned it already, it's fun, shall be fun, and people are there to be motivated with this whole undertaking. That is a challenge, a nice challenge, an opportunity, and not something, oh, so much resources, so much complexity, so much, the challenges we just saw from the previous slide. It's much more a beautiful opportunity. So now, what does it mean in the context of Signavio? Now, I was thinking, okay, let's put those 4 dimensions in one arrow. So, okay, at the very beginning of the strategy, you have the processes, you have the people in the company, ultimately operating the systems. Why not putting this laying 8 around, saying, okay, right here, we have people in the very core. When it comes to this transformation towards S/4HANA, we start with designing, scoping, as is, to be, and then we analyze, okay, what needs to be transformed, what not, what makes sense to standardize, optimize, automate, and so on. Ultimately, we are in the system, and then we, test it, we deploy it, ultimately we run. And you see it's an iterative loop, because also here at Westernacher, we are strongly convinced that an S4 migration is not a one-time act that we sign off after go live. According to us, the fun, again, starts when it's implemented, because S/4HANA provides you so many capabilities to unleash the full potential of your company. So it's not a simple system upgrade. It's not like in your phone, an operating system update. Brings you much more capabilities with the most state-of-the-art technologies, intelligent technologies, machine learning capabilities, robotic process automation, and so on, an improved user experience, and so on. So once installed, you can continuously optimize. And Signavio helps you identify potentials for improvement, identify potentials for standardization, identify potentials for optimization, so that ultimately you can focus much more on your core competencies, on your core business, on what makes your company special. Let's be a little bit more precise. Today's session is about Signavio and the process focus. So on the right-hand side, you see now we focus on the processes. And now let's emphasize how Signavio, with the different solutions, can help you achieve those points, this mission. So at the very beginning, we would start, okay, designing the processes. From an outside-in perspective, we would really put this customer in the very center of your transformation journey. How does your customer wants to perceive your business? How does your supplier wants to perceive your business? How do your employees want to perceive your business? And then we align it with the inside-out process flow, considering best practice content from SAP. Meaning, we can simply upload with 2-3 clicks best practice processes for your various S/4HANA scope items, from finance to sales to procurement to supply chain. Most notably, of course, for commodity processes, for standard processes. I already mentioned it, now it's quarterly closing, processes for quarterly closing, and so on. So this is the very first step. It's all about modeling processes. Second step is about workflow and automation execution, meaning you can have built-in workflow or approval engine to sign off your processes and to create feedback loops right into the system. That saves you time. You don't need to, send long emails or schedule time-intense meetings. It's all built within the same solution. So it's much more agile. We always talk about agility and agile methods. So this is highly agile, and it saves you time and complexity, reducing all this manual work, rather going into the automated solutions provided by Signavio. Further on, if we identify some processes that we can automate them with so-called SAP built process automation. They are cool for, repetitive, redundant, and highly manual tasks. After that, we can really identify the performance of your system, of your SA system, of your current ECC system. You can plug your ECC system and connect it to a mapping logic provided by Signavio, which analyzes all your transactional data. So we simply have to install 2 plugins in your source system, and all the data gets mapped to certain logic. Also specific to your industry, we will have a demo around process insights, as you can see here, in a minute. Later on, I will show you firsthand how you can identify improvement opportunities within your company based on your productive data. And this is cool because before my journey regarding Signavio, I did S/4HANA migrations at a big four company, and we highly, literally always worked with traditional methods, meaning we had a look on the simplification list, we identified the delta, and then we worked with the industry solution portfolio, to create the scoping and to target solution state. Now with process insights, you have already your insights into your data, into your company, into your industry, plus you have a benchmark comparison with your peers because SAP has the data. So, and this makes it much more fun. It's like a smartwatch you're wearing, and suddenly you know, okay, how many steps did I take? How many hours did I sleep? How many calories did I burn? Same more or less applies now to your processes. And now you can onboard your process owners, your line of business managers, your transformation drivers, and also talk to your IT guys because they see, okay, how much code is really standard in our company? How much set transactions are there really out there? And so on. So it's really a fact-based rather than an intuition-based scoping base state, right? It's a nice base where we can start from, rather than assuming or taking a PDF or any other written document out there randomly that might have suit for others but not necessarily for you. Now we have something tailored for you. Also, if we identify the case internally, or let's say finance raised their arm already, we are heavily struggling now, indeed, with month-end closing because some subsidiaries and company codes do not manage it to do it on time. Let's do some process mining there. Maybe it's a solution also offered by Signavio with the tool Process Intelligence, where we can really dive deeper and really squeeze it out, all it's in your month-end or quarterly closing process. Through mining capabilities, we would connect also to your source system and get everything out there. Variances, process funnels, conformance checks, spaghetti diagrams. Long story short, we are also convinced that there's so much knowledge within your company that it's not always the others, that have the solution. The solution might be already within you, and it comes ultimately back to the people that are working in your company. Let's say you have some company codes highly performing in your company and some other company codes with lower performance. So why not use the better performing as an inspiration for the poorer ones in terms of performance, right? And have this joint improvement approach available for everyone in your company. A nice integration concerning your enterprise architecture, and also when it comes to ALM, application lifecycle management, it's also the seamless integration into Solution Manager and also LeanIX, as they both offer out-of-the-box integration connectors. So it's really nice if you are, you know, a fan like we are from Solution Manager, or of course the innovative capabilities from LeanIX, you can seamlessly combine them. And ultimately, you see it now here on the left, it's about collaborating with your people within your company, as people are, at least from my personal point of view, the very core of your transformation. It's nice to have the structure. It's nice, as I already mentioned, to have this, you know, structured approach with the strategy, but ultimately it's your people. And Signavio offers this collaboration hub where everyone is on the same page. It's like a social network for processes where everyone can like, comment, and share processes. So how does it look like in reality? So at the beginning, you might ask yourself, why S4HANA? Or maybe you are already on an S4, an older one, you want to move to a newer one. Okay, why S4HANA? What's the benefit? How do we move there actually, from old to new? And what do we do? What do we do exactly? Those are typical questions we always receive from our customers, from our clients, from our prospects when it comes to the S4 journey. Combined with them, there's several other questions, right? Everything around setting the business case, setting the goals, and the detailed plan when it comes to the actual investment towards S4. And also, of course, the go live. How do we achieve it? And what do we do afterwards? So questions after questions after questions. So answering those questions, you of course can assume, and based on experience, of course, this is a nice intuitive method, of course, you know, to consider historical values. But why not emphasizing on your productive data that you have already? Benchmark it to your industry peers. Consider best practices for your commodity processes and really focus on your differentiating processes and start from there. So how does it look like, or how can it look like in practice? So you might be familiar of those phases up here. Those are the so-called SAP Activate project phases when it comes to your S4 journey, starting with discover all the way to realize, deploy, and run. At the very beginning, it's about discovering, right? Defining your goals, your scope. What do you want to achieve with your S4 system? Already there, when it comes to your business and IT landscape, when it comes to an impact analysis the target system shall have on your company, when it comes to methodology and governance, Signavio is the key for a structured way of dealing with the issue. Everything to start from, you have it in one single place via the SAP Signavio Collaboration Hub that you see in screenshots down there. Once you define your scope, you might analyze the current state. I already mentioned it, process insights, process analysis, and process intelligence are awesome tools from Signavio that help you understand your current process performance. You can also define the target system using the process manager from Signavio and simulate some cases. You can also, as I already mentioned, connect it to your solution manager or other enterprise architecture systems to really understand, okay, how does this target state look like in our landscape? Finally, you might reach the sign-off in your explore phase, and you want to know, okay, who is actually responsible, accountable for what? So you can, with a click of a button, generate reports out of your process manager, rocket charts, blueprints, and of course, every detail you need to know regarding your target. So, meaning which roles are impacted, which attributes, which interfaces, all in one. When it comes to implementation, you might want to make sure that you reach the actual S/4HANA capabilities. So here within the 4 previous phases, we have this perfect target picture. How does it look like in reality? And also there, process intelligence and process insights from Signavio help you understand and analyze your system's performance. If you want to squeeze out the best and make sure that everyone in your company is on board, then when it comes to deployment, enablement is also a huge topic. You might be familiar with SAP Enable Now, where you can really collaboratively produce content, right? But also share it and ultimately consume it. So this is also a nice way that everyone in your company is on the same page. At the same time, you can access the Process Explorer from Signavio, which delivers plenty of templates, out-of-the-box materials tailored to your specific industry so that you continuously can improve your business. And continuous improvement is actually our starting point, right, when it comes to future initiatives. It's not with run, it's over, we're happy, you're happy, it's live now. Ultimately, making sure that everything is now running, right? Coming back to the analogy of a smartwatch, it also starts for you when the smartwatch is up and running. Now you want to know, okay, which circles are green? How can I make the orange into green? And now it's the same with your S4 system. And Signavio helps you on this journey. How this looks like in real life, I can show you now in a short demo. We will emphasize on Signavio Process Insights. We have a customer example here for the mining industry. And this is what the starting page looks like. You see here start. You see already at the very beginning a nice summary of what's going on within your company. You can choose the entry point. Is it an end-to-end process? Maybe you are from finance or from sales, you want to know about your processes, or you from a line of business, and you really want to have an understanding of what's going on. For instance, in manufacturing, you see already, okay, the tool based on your transactional data coming from SAP suggests to analyze 12 process flows, 10 blockers identified, 4 process flows. Blockers are bottlenecks, that consume time and errors. And also some correction recommendations, innovation recommendations. And they are mostly based on S4 capabilities, because the basic intention of Process Insights in Signavio is to unleash the full potential of your S4 system, ensuring you that you really have all the capabilities now available and also live them. So we also have a different view here. We find the end-to-end processes again here, and also the line of businesses, we find them again here. So right now we could focus on, let's say, lead to cash, and for simplification reasons, I would now choose simple process flow with not so much information. It's request to service. We say, okay, there's one process flow within. I can click it. I see, all right. I have a high-level process overview, so it starts with sales, right, returning the order. It touches supply chain with the movement, and it ends with a credit memo in sales. Down here, I see some KPIs. some benchmarks compared to industry peers. I see some in red, for instance, this one, open returns order. I see here some distributions for, you know, special doc types. I can also filter by sales organization, for instance, and tells me exactly which sales organizations are impacted. This is great. This saves you a lot of time. Now you can really emphasize and, you know, talk to the people who are responsible for those sales organizations, and they are related to it. They can relate to it, because ultimately it's about improving those sales organizations. We see, okay, there's a high items affection, right? With a dramatically higher benchmark compared than the industry, because the industry is in this sense performing better, which means at the same time there's room for improvement. It's a strong potential for innovation. How does it look like in detail? Here we have all transactional data. It's nice, it's nice, it's nice. We can download it. So, but ultimately, what does it mean? What does it mean for you as a business? Ultimately, you as a business, or you as a process owner, from lead to cash, or for the lead to cash process, you ultimately want to make sure that the process runs smooth, that it's lean, and that it fulfills the target, meaning cost effective and cycle time effective. Therefore, you can rely on those correction recommendations provided by SAP directly. You need to know that there's 50 years of SAP knowledge respected, also from the entire partner ecosystem. Everything is written down, everything is interlinked now to your business case. And this is something cutting edge. I started my SAP consulting career in 2017. Back then, it was very much paper-based and intuition-based. Now it's again fact-based, based on your data, tailored to your needs. And if we think of those correction and innovation recommendations, we can also now respect different technologies, intelligent technologies, for instance, process automation, intelligent technologies for situation handling, or user experience improvement, and so on, using Fiori apps and so on. I have everything at a glance. So if I want to, for instance, also make sure that finance or any other line of business is running smooth, again, this is a perfect playground for your line of business managers. Now they have a clean, intuitive user interface, and they are now able to manage their line of business at a glance, right? And even though you're working in finance, you always have some touch points to sales or to other, you know, line of businesses. It's not a silo thinking, it's a joint thinking, right? Because think of order to cash, you have touch points, sales and finance. Think of procure to pay, you have touch points, sales, finance and procurement, of course, for them. So if you really want to optimize your finance, you can also click on it. And again, you see all the processes with some indications here. You can filter, you can see exactly which processes are involved within finance, which line of businesses are involved. You can filter. And again, you can have this entire overview of the end-to-end process, of course, on a high level, but you have nice insights. You can also, by the way, let's take a short break here and have a look on this beautiful interface. Right now, I want to show you my two favorite contents within Process Insights. So now we saw, okay, nice, intuitive, nice, you know, illustrations, nice KPIs, tells me the correction recommendations, you know, different view settings for the different processes, line of business, and so on. So my two personal favorites. That's awesome. Here, for instance, you have the reference guide. The reference guide tells you exactly what is this process all about. right? We don't need to reinvent the wheel. Everything is written down here with frequent blockers, you know, bottlenecks. What do they mean? So everyone is up to date. Remember, we were talking about enabling, and oftentimes you might think, oh, how can we train everyone within our companies? Of course, here at Westernacher, we are strongly committed, you know, with trainings and change management and you know, tutorials and user guide documentation to make sure that everyone is on board. But why not having a support on a daily basis that's available out of the box? It's here. So it's everything here. And the cool thing is also here, when you click on the question mark, you see everything about the screen, about the data, about the blocker, everything is written here. So it's like an inbuilt training engine. It's like an inbuilt tutorial engine. So you can be a dummy in this domain. You can sit, let's make this use case. You are now responsible for finance. Okay, I'm here, I don't know what to do. I click on this screen help. I say, okay, about the screen, okay, system and client, okay, good. And I'm for finance. I click on finance. I don't know what to do. I have here all the material I need to know, right? I can click myself through it. And this is awesome. And now, of course, our topic is about S/4HANA and how does it help? So now we saw already, you know, these improvement recommendations that we, okay, unleash the S4 capabilities in your target solution, right? To undo those blockers, right? And clicking on innovation recommendations, we have S4HANA capabilities out of the box available here for finance, governance, risk management, quality, procurement, and so on. We also see which end-to-end processes are involved. So right out of the box, we have now a way to start on a structured way. So again, it's not intuitive and, you know, some randomly based, you know, starting point now. It's structured. We have it fact-based. We have it based on your productive data, and now it makes ultimately fun, right? Because we all want to have those KPIs in red into white, or at least, you know, remove the red into the yellow to ultimately outperform our industry peers. I can go on forever, but our time is limited. That's why we'll jump back to the presentation. And of course, my intention here is to make you curious, right? There's so much to tell. There are 7 Signavio solutions. I don't want to overwhelm you. It's a step-by-step process. Nevertheless, I only want to inspire you that Signavio can support your S4 journey. So if you're an executive right now and you want to reduce risk of your S4 journey, if you want to reduce costs, if you want to have great team synergy with, you know, collaboration and, you know, ongoing process engagement, Signavio helps you. If you're a project manager right now and you want to ensure right governance and everything is in scope, in budget, Signavio helps you on this journey. If you are a project team member and if you want to reach the target, Signavio helps you on this journey. If you're in a quality assurance and you have to deal with risks and controls, Signavio helps you on this journey. So ultimately, it's a quick wrap up. We have those 5 typically dimensions, right? We have the strategy we learned, we have the processes, the data, the systems. Ultimately, of course, the people. So in Signavio, it's all about people and harmonizing your strategy, processes, data, and systems. That's it, more or less from my side. This is just because afterwards we will also distribute the slide deck to everyone. Here's a quick overview with a link to white papers, to articles. We are highly engaged, also in strong collaboration with SAP Signavio colleagues when it comes to different use cases, S/4HANA migration journeys or Rise of SAP initiatives. We are there. We are thought leading this domain. And other than that, I think now you know them, strategy, processes, systems, people are there to help you migrate to your S4 journey. And Signavio helps you on this. And of course, we at Westernacher, we're always there to support you on your mission, because again, here we at Westernacher, we believe in a long-term partnership. We believe in a continuous exchange, and we see ourselves as a team of doers and taking action with enthusiasm. And ultimately, I mentioned it already 10 times. Let's mention it another time. Fun. A transformation shall be ultimately fun despite all the heavy investments. People are working with it. It's a great technology behind there, great opportunities, great capabilities. So also great people working within your company, collaborate all together. Let's make it a great and a fun project. Thank you so much for joining.
I think one last sentence from my end. Signavio is the true example of insight to action. You see the data, you see the information, you can use it in your process. You can use it to make it actionable and activate the best practices, activate automation from one tool, where it is really the backbone of a total implementation. And also after go live, this is what you can use to see where you can improve, how you can take one step further than you would normally do. So that's, I think, also the power of Signavio, and also why we highly invest in this tool. Thanks a lot. Hope to see you next time.
See you next time, and we're always there for you. If you are curious, again, we can have a deeper dive session. We can have a one-on-one demo on the different solutions, take you through it. I know it's a lot of information in such a short time. Digest, and then let's have a hands-on session based on your use cases, based on your pain points, based on what concerns you the most when it comes to S/4HANA. We are there for you. Thank you so much.
Bye.